Now to Ibrox, the commentary team this evening, Stephen Thompson and Liam MacLeod.
Rangers propping up the Europa League, coming into this one after 3 match days, 3 defeats, insipid performances. Just won't do at this level. This is a level that Rangers have competed at pretty well over the course of the last 5 or 6 years, as they look to pick up their first point or points of this season's Europa League in their first match-up against an Italian side since 2 brutal defeats to Napoli in the Champions League in 2022. They lost both group matches 3-0. And those ones against Napoli are their only meetings with a team from Italy since beating Fiorentina on penalties to reach the 2008 UEFA Cup final after 2 goalless draws. Roma in Scotland for the first time since their infamous meeting with Dundee United. They were battered at Tannadice in the first leg of that European Cup semi-final. Lost 2-0, recovered to go through 3-2 in aggregate after the controversial second leg in the Italian capital, when there was major question marks about the performance of the French referee Michel Vautreau that night after he came under fire with allegations of bribery in the aftermath. Roma would lose the final in their own stadium on penalties to Liverpool. And that referee 6 years later, back in Italy, forgot to end the first period of extra time in the World Cup semis between Italy and Argentina in Naples. Well, perhaps no surprise that there were question marks over that particular official. Rangers then line up tonight: Butland in goal, Tavernier, Suter and Giga at the back, Aarons, Barron, Raskan, Migoma across the middle, with Moore and Gassama either side of Shermiti. Roma with Svilar in goal, the Serbian, Hermoso the Spaniard, Mancini the Italian, and Indica the Ivorian on the other side. The Turk Celik, Cristante and El Ayanui in the middle, with Kostas Tsimikas, the Greece international, on the other side. The Argentine Matthias Sule on one side of Artem Dovbyk, the Ukraine international, with Lorenzo Pellegrini on the other. Roma, 1 win, 2 defeats in their Europa League campaign so far. They've been going well domestically, not so much in this tournament. And just 1 win is bitterly disappointing for them as they try and get back to winning ways tonight. They were beaten by Victoria Pilsen last time out at home, a team that Rangers knocked out of Champions League qualifying. It is Roma who kick off, shooting from left to right in one of their change colours, the bright orange with the blood red flashes of their home kit, as Rangers with the blue shirts, white shorts and black socks. It's flicked on by Meghoma. Shermiti is going to chase that, and then Indica gets back there first and rolls it back to his goalkeeper, and then Svilar thumps it forward there. It's a clearance by Giga in the centre circle, long ball forward, which is met there by Hermoso. The Spaniard thumps it long, and out it goes for a Rangers throw-in midway inside their own half. Tavernier bowling it back to Butland. Rangers, Stephen Thompson, desperate to avoid a 7th successive European defeat.
Yeah, absolutely, Liam. And you know, the performances, as I was mentioning just there to Jonathan, haven't been good enough in this tournament or in the qualifying for the Champions League so far. So they really need to raise their game. I'll tell you one thing, the supporters have raised their game tonight, because you compare this atmosphere in here to the last couple of times we've been here in European nights, it's back to what it used to be, and there's a kind of anticipation in the air from the Rangers support.
Yeah, that Genk game right at the start of the tournament, things were clearly unravelling all over the place for them, across the board at the time. And even out in Austria against Sturm Graz, the same applied. Danny Rule's first game was their last one in Europa League against Brandbergen, as Pellegrini picks up left of the centre circle, rolls it out to that far side. First time ball by Tsimikas down the line. He's going to get it back here, the Greek, rolls it infield, and then Hermoso sweeps it to Cristante, the Roma skipper, experienced campaigner in the engine room for the visitors. Right of the centre circle, he fires it back to the left of it into his own half for Hermoso, out to Tsimikas, and then infield to Pellegrini. Back to Hermoso. You'd expect Roma have quite a bit of the ball tonight, so important what Rangers do off the ball, but also when they do have it, they've got to make it count. And it's Roma down this right-hand side with Zeki Celik. Little ball in field to Sule, and then offside flag goes up against Mancini. Comes up from the back, and that will be a free kick to Rangers deep inside their own half here. 0-0 in the very early stages of the match. Gianpiero Gasperini down there took over in the summer, having been at Atalanta for the best part of a decade, and led them to the Europa League title, beating Bayer Leverkusen in the final in the Aviva in Dublin. It's going to be a long ball here from Butland with the right foot from just outside his box from that free kick for the offside. Chermiti flicks on, can't get Roma involved, and it goes out of play for a throw-in level with their own 18-yard line here for the visitors. And Zeki Celik is over it, vastly experienced player, 56 caps for Turkey, played at the last 2 European Championship finals. As it's stinked forward, Giga comes into the Roma, have to get his boot onto it, up into the air it goes, it settles on this near side with Celik, and he's lost it. Raskan wins it back now, Mikey Moore driving in the left hand side level with the Roma 6-yard line, back on his right side, looks to cross, low ball in, it's cleared by Ndika, and then helped on its way by Mancini. Barron wins it back, it's a brilliant challenge by Connor Barron. He pinches it off Sule, turns it out to the right for Aarons, to Tavernier, and then back to Max Aarons, who is all the way back to Jack Butland. Aarons and Giga, big nights for them, because it's not been a good start to either's Rangers career.
It has not been, Liam, you're right. Aarons started the season in the left back position, moved to the right, had a shaky old start to the season, so it's a big night for him. There's
Gassama driving forward, down he goes, roar from the Rangers fans, falls on deaf ears. It was Hermoso's challenge. It breaks to El Ayanui, and then out to the left for Simicas. Long ball comes off the head of Tavernier. Had to get there because Pellegrini had ghosted him behind him, and he heads it out for a throw-in on the far side. Stephen getting a chance to see a replay of the challenge in Gassama.
Yeah, it's a foul. It's a foul. It's absolutely a foul. And the referee's in a really good position, so really surprised he didn't get that there. But down this left-hand side just a couple of moments ago when Mikey Moore got the ball, really positive with his first thing involvement in the match, takes his first touch forward and tries to drive and create something. See more from that, from him.
Roma pick up wide on the left there with Hermoso driving forward from the centre-back position. The ball forwards cut out, breaks back to Hermoso, and then slipped in field to the big Spanish defender again, to the right of the centre circle for Brian Cristante. Flicked to the outside of the boot, out to this near side for Celik, who goes back to Cristante, he knocks it forward to Dovbyk. Manages to force it back to Mancini, whose legs whipped away from him by Barron, and that's a free kick to Roma, midway inside the Rangers half, right of centre.
He really is so tenacious, isn't he, Connor Barron? He wants to try and win every ball and tries to just kick through the legs of the striker there, and it's a clear foul. Chance for Roma to put one into the box here, probably a good 40 yards out, slight angle, but they'll try and arc this in around the penalty spot, I would imagine.
They're sitting fourth in Serie A just now after 10 matches, just a point off the pace setters Napoli. The two Milanese clubs are on the same points tally as Roma, but have better goal differences. As I said, Roma beaten in the San Siro on Sunday, frenetic encounter. Missed a whole heap of chances in the game, including a penalty. Pellegrini stands over the free kick, right-footed, bends it into a really good area towards the back post, and Chermiti takes no chances and heads it behind for a Roma corner. The first of the match, 6 minutes in, 0-0.
Fabulous delivery, really was, Liam, just as I expected, in and around that penalty area. It kind of missed most of the Rangers' defence, but Chermiti doing well at the back post just to clear the danger at the expense of the corner.
Will be taken by Pellegrini over on that far side, the Roma left, as they attack the Copeland Road end off to our right. In swinging delivery coming up from the Italy international, and it comes, it's a good header away by John Suter on the 6-yard line, as it's passed all the way back to El Ayanui, and then out to this near side. It eventually falls at the feet of Sule, as it pinched off from there by Mikey Moore. It comes off his toe and out for a Roma throw-in on this near side, just inside Rangers territory, and in fact right in front of Danny Rule, the Rangers manager. First home European match for him. In charge here, he sets his water bottle down on the turf in front of him. in his technical area.
Yeah, shades of Nadal there. Never seen him do that, no. Look at the look he gave me there. He used to line his water bottles up in front of him.
Oh, it's funny you should bring tennis into it. I mentioned earlier on that El Ayanui, his father, is a former top-class tennis player.
Great knowledge, Liam. Great knowledge.
Yeah, 2 quarter-finals, the Aussie Open and the US, lost to Kafelnikov and Roddick in Australia and Hewitt and Nalbandian in New York.
Did not know
He
that.
got past round 3 at Wimbledon, as that's launched out of play for a throw-in on this near side. In fact, the offside flag's gone up, so there will be a ball here. It looked like a Rangers free kick. Might just be the throw-in that's been given in the end. Actually, it was. Homa bowls it back to Giga, and then back to Jack Butland inside his own box. Takes it out to the left-hand side and launches it forward with the left foot. A header forward by Hermoso. Breaks out to Tsimikas on the far side. He's made too many starts since joining on loan from Liverpool. Kostas Tsimikas scored his first international goal in that World Cup qualifier at Hampden against Scotland last month. And Scotland will be hoping to keep him and the rest of his teammates quiet on Saturday week. We go to Piraeus. The game Scotland cannot afford to lose. Chasing after it is Dobbik. It's out of play off Souters, covering back, does well.
Giga got away with one there. Bit of a sloppy attempt at a clearance from him, but thankfully for him, Souter was covering round behind him.
It's on this near side with Zeki Celik, passing it back down the line to Mancini. It's a couple of touches and his ball in is dreadful, and it sails behind the reverse side of the goal frame for a goal kick. We played 9 minutes, Rangers 0, AS Roma 0.
Dreadful is an understatement. It's an absolutely abysmal cross, but yeah, I mean, Rangers will be reasonably happy with the start they've made to the game. They're working hard to put Roma under pressure when they're on the ball, closing them down, but not really had anything of note in their own attacking areas yet.
Comes off the head of Hermoso and out for a throw into Rangers in the Roma half here, and I know it's almost 10 minutes into the match. Roma are enjoying 71% of the ball in the infancy of the game as it's pulled back to Tavernier just inside his own half with Raskan faced by Cristante, gets it out to the right for Aarons, who's ball in field, finds Gassama, he's chopped to the ground, he gets the free kick this time. It's over on that far side, just a few yards from the Sandy Jardine Govan side touchline.
Yeah, it kind of throws himself, buys the foul. I mean, you know, from a Rangers point of view, it's clever from Gassama. It didn't look a foul to me, but
well, the last one was more a foul than that one.
Yeah,
and it was the same 2 players involved. Free kick Rangers, Tavernier over at the far side. Giga's gone up, Souters gone up there amongst a clutch of players along the 18-yard line of Roma. It's a low ball, Tavernier into the right-hand side of the box for Gassama. Pulls it back looking for Shamiti. It's blocked and cleared. Sule takes over on the far side. And the road to nowhere, but he's taken down by Barron. Second foul in a few minutes from Connor Barron, who's a look at the Danish referee. And it will be a Roma free kick over on that far side. 0-0.
He's just so keen to win the ball, Liam. But, you know, in that instance there, the Roma players going nowhere. You've got them locked in an area where he's only really going to put it out for a throw-in, or you might nick it back. So it wasn't a sensible foul from Connor Barron in those situations.
He was left cursing the yellow cards he got in the 2 prior rounds in the League Cup, including the quarters against Hibs, because he was suspended for the semi on Sunday. Svilar with a long ball from the free kick, helped on its way by Cristante to the edge of the Rangers box. Tavernier nods it to his left for Giga, who heads it back down out there towards that corner flag. Aarons gets back and gets it clear, high ball up towards the halfway line. It's Cristante, gets a toe onto it, turns it all the way back along the grass to his goalkeeper. Svilar, the short ball, and then it's picked up there by Mancini. He rolls it to his left for Endicott. Then over to that far side for Hermoso. The centre-backs like to put themselves into different kinds of areas on the pitch. You're seeing from Roma so far. Hermoso, Mancini have both got forward, just leaving Endicott the anchor at the back. As Raskan finds Barron, side foot ball back to Souter, who'll play it to his left for Giga. Out to the touchline on the near side for Meghoma's ball up the line is cut out by Mancini, and now on this right hand side is a chance for Roma. They're going to win the corner. Sule's ball played off Giga. It is 0-0, but it's Roma with almost exclusivity of possession.
Yeah, Rangers need to just be a wee bit brighter when they're in possession of the ball. They've not had a spell yet, but they managed to have a good 4 or 5 passes, keeping it and just letting Roma do a bit of the chasing. There's a slack one from Magoma, cheap corner to give away.
Lorenzo Pellegrini over the corner, outswinger with the right boot as they attack the goal to our right. In it comes from Pellegrini, it's a good one, the header down and in! Roma score! Sule wheels away to celebrate. I'm not sure if it came off a Rangers player in the back post as well, but it's Sule with the fists clenched in celebration, and after 13 minutes it's Rangers 0, AS Roma 1.
I'm like you, Liam, I don't know who got the last touch. To me it looked as though it might have been a Rangers player, but the point is the first contact's the important one. It's an out-swinging corner to the 6-yard box. They don't get the first contact, and no, it's definitely Sule at the back post. And who is it that's sleeping at the back post? Looks like it might be Giga. But you're in these situations, if you don't win the first contact, you're in big trouble. But then after that, everybody's got to be switched on, especially inside that 6-yard box. And he goes in at the back post, completely and utterly unmarked. I'd need to see it again to see who he lost in the build-up to it.
Matthias Sule with the goal. Former Argentina under-20 international. He has been in the Argentina senior squad, yet to get his first cap. And he's also got Italian citizenship, so that might be a route forward for him. No suggestion of offside. Danny Rule frustrated as Rangers get the game back underway, but they are trailing in this miserable Europa League campaign. As that long ball comes off Simicas and out for a throw into Rangers up the pitch level with the Roma 18-yard line. Ball back to Tavernier by Ahrens. Ahrens infield to Gassama, who goes down. Again, the referee's not interested. Roma clear, but it's Tavernier winning it back now. JD Gassama up to the edge of the box, wants it on his right side, cuts back infield and loses it. It's picked up there by Eliaya Nui, and then out it goes off Ahrens for a Roma throw-in over on the far side. It's been such a bitterly disappointing Europa League campaign for Rangers, but if you're going to give goals like that away, you're not going to get any better results.
100%, Liam, you're spot on, and I said it to the guys in the studio before the game. You know, for Rangers to win a game at this level this season, they're going to have to be defensively switched on, and that's the platform you can go and build from.
Suter with a header from Sule's balls. He tried to release Eki Celik on this near side. It's with Giga. Side foot ball back to Suter. He'll then switch it out to that right hand side for Ahrens. 15 minutes in, you could hear as soon as that ball was headed into the net by Sule, you could feel the life being sucked out of the home support as Moore tries to get it through to Gassama, who's being fouled as he released the ball, which was blocked. So the Danish referee brings it back for a free kick to Rangers, right hand side of the centre circle, inside their own half. They trail Roma by a goal to 0. John Suter will take this free kick. What kind of reaction will they have? Defeats to Genk, Sturm Graz and Brann coming into this one, propping up the Europa League. Roma not doing much better themselves before tonight as they make a hash of it in the back. Sharmiti gets goal side, right hand side of the box, goes himself and across the piece, a goal and wide. Well, it's brilliant striker play by Sharmiti, because the ball, pinball between two Roma defenders. Sharmiti was alive to the situation, but he's dragged it wide on the reverse side of the goal, and it stays Rangers 0, Roma 1.
I mean, it's an awful mix-up, really awful mix-up in the Roma defence. Both of them going for it. It breaks off one of their heels into Sharmiti's path. He takes a couple of touches. He doesn't do too much wrong, you know. He's at a reasonably tight angle, hits it across the goalkeeper, probably goes about a foot past the post, but it goes down as a chance and a miss for Sharmiti.
Well, he has got that first goal for Rangers, but as we know from recent experience of Cyril Dessers and his inability to win the Rangers supporters over, even if you score 20 plus goals, you're not necessarily in the good books around these parts. Dovbyk picks up on this near side, rolls the ball midway inside the Rangers half, infield for Sule, the goal scorer, plays it back to Hermoso outside the centre circle, pushes it forward and gets it back immediately there from that far side from Elianui. And it's out to the right flank here for Zeki Celik. Played infield to Cristante. Short ball to his left, gets it back immediately from Elianui, and then the pass forward is aimed for Sule, but it comes all the way through to Butland harmlessly. And after 17 minutes, Rangers still trail this one by a goal to nil.
I mean, to lose a goal from a set play is extremely disappointing so early in the match as well. But, so far in the game, Roma have struggled to really cut Rangers open through open play. They've not really been dazzling in terms of that. So, I mean, they can have the ball as much as they want. They're not really causing Rangers that many problems.
A bouncing ball forward there, comes all the way through to Jack Butland. Raskan to Barron. Back to Nicola Raskan. And then to Butland, and then his short ball to Giga. To the left-hand side, and he goes back to Butland. Rangers have to be careful here, because if they concede the next goal, it could be game over, and this place will turn, as we've seen this season. Barron lumps it long with the right foot out to Shermiti on the far side. He's going to get there as he wins the corner. He's done well. He put enough pressure on Hermoso, who bundles it behind unintentionally for a Rangers corner.
Yeah, he did well. I mean, he peeled off the centre half into a wider area and offered the threat of the ball in behind, which was played to him. Takes it for a run, and eventually it's nicked off him at the expense of the corner, which Tavernier will in-swing. What can Rangers do now in reply from their own set play?
Well, it's going to be an outswinger from James Tavernier. Mikey Moore's gone out to offer assistance if he wants to take the short one. Looks like it's coming into the box. Tavernier, in it comes, headed away by Roma. Breaks to Moore, plays it short to Barron to his left. Barron looks up at the box, swings the cross in. Comfortable take for Milis Vilar, the Roma keeper. After 19 minutes, Rangers 1-0 down. And home to the Italians, who have had recent continental success, having lifted the inaugural Conference League title under Jose Mourinho in 2022. They got to the final of this tournament 12 months later. They were beaten on penalties by Sevilla in Budapest. Success domestically has been harder to come by. Just 2 Coppa Italia since they last lifted the Scudetto back in 2001. As they come forward down the right, Sule looking to return the ball to Zeki Celik. Giga gets there, but it's gone off the Roma man last, and behind for the goal kick to Rangers. And yeah, I mean, looking back at that goal, Stephen, it's come directly from a corner.
Yeah.
And Giga, I mean, there were eyebrows raised when you saw the team sheet. You heard the guys in the studio as well, obviously, of the same opinion, that Cornelius had been left out and Giga in instead of him.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt he really struggled at the weekend, and he was brought back into the side recently, having been out of the team because he'd been struggling when he first arrived. A couple of, notable errors. Yeah, I mean, obviously Danny Rule sees something in him, and I think it probably is due to his athleticism and pace for that ball in behind. That's the threat from Roma.
Suter decided to let that drop over his head, and then he's backtracking towards his own goal there as he gets it back to Butland. He finds Giga, turns it back to Suter. He's down by the byline, the far side.
Fans are nervous when he's on the ball,
That's not going to help the player either, that though, is it?
Definitely does not, believe me.
Here's Cristante picking up in the centre circle, just trundling across the halfway line and rolling it to his right here for Mancini. Down the right-hand touchline for Zeki Celik. Right-hand side of the Rangers box, level with the 6-yard line, pulls it back there to Sule, who's got free, shoots with the left foot, forces the save from Butland, who puts it behind for the corner. Sule's got Giga on a plate here. He's having a go at him every single time, and it's Sule with the left foot that time, denied by the Rangers keeper.
Yeah, I mean, he manages to kind of dance through kind of 1 or 2 challenges there where you're thinking to yourself, if a Rangers player, you've got to get a tackle, you've got to make a block, you've got to make it more difficult for him, but he ends up getting the break of the ball into the kind of 16-17 yards out and gets a good shot away, but it was never going to go in past Butland. It wasn't directed well enough.
Pellegrini with the corner, outswinger with the right foot. There's a header at goal which is over the crossbar from Hermoso, and it stays Rangers 0, Roma 1. But there's Actually, the response from Rangers to go behind has not been bad, but Roma still threatening.
Yeah, Roma, creating the better opportunities, looking more dangerous on the ball. But I mean, again, as another corner kick coming in, and Hermoso getting the first contact and getting a header. He'll feel he probably should have got it on target. Rangers need to sort that out.
One of the anomalies in the Europa League this season sees Celtic and Rangers going up against a couple of the same sides, and Roma will be back in Glasgow next month to go to Celtic Park, and that is clearly a game now you would imagine Celtic are going to have to win given their result tonight in Denmark against Midtjylland. Rangers' next European escapade after this one is a trip to Budapest to play Ferencváros, Robbie Keane's team. Jack Butland hits it with the left foot, but he slices it out for a Roma throw-in on this near side, a bit level with the edge of the centre circle, and he's annoyed with himself, the Rangers keeper. Not much he could have done about the goal that sees his team behind here on 23 minutes.
Absolutely nothing he could have done about it, Liam. But yeah, I mean, generally his kicking's better than that. He's just giving the ball straight back to Roma, who are enjoying, as you mentioned, the lion's share of possession.
Throw in to the visitors on this near side. Zeki Celik's over it. In front of the Rangers managers, get his hands in his suit pockets down there. Into Cristante and up and under towards Dovbyk. Manages to work it out to Sule on this near side. Under pressure from Raskan. Finds Cristante in field. Now Zeki Celik to Sule. Sule driving away from Meghoma. Meghoma trying to stick with him. Now Sule back facing his own goal as Meghoma got into a good position, but he's fed it infield to Cristante. And then just played to El Ainaoui, out to the far side it goes for Tsimikas. Low ball back to Hermoso. El Ainaoui now playing it infield. And then the first time ball finds Sule at the edge of the box, looks to slip it through to Dovbyk, cut out by Giga.
Should have hit it, Liam.
Yeah, as Moore hits it with the outside of the right boot forward, Ndika goes down. Sharmiti has the ball, the referee didn't give Roma the free kick there. Rangers have battled to win it back, and it's Giga forward into the midfield for Raskan, who will then turn it out to Tavernier on that right side. Side through ball onto the touchline for Aarons. He's trying to spin his man, he's done well over on the far side, away from Tsimikas, fires it forward to JD Gassama. Suddenly 3 on 4, Roma with 4 at the back, in comes the cross, it's poor, beats everyone and sails out for a throw-in on the reverse side by the corner flag, and stays Rangers 0, Roma 1 on 25 minutes.
It's got to be better. I mean, Aarons does really well with the wee spin and the pass in behind. Gassama, the first time I've seen him doing this in the match, he's got to flash it across. I mean, it's not a difficult ball to put in. You flash it into an area between the goalkeeper and the penalty spot along the ground. That's all you need to do. But he's hit a floater that's gone way through the back of the box. I'd like to have seen Chermiti make that box as well. He was just making his way into the 18-yard box as the cross come in. But you need better delivery than that.
Well, realistically, Rangers need to be looking at, you would imagine, including this one, 5 games left. You're going to have to win 4 of them.
Yeah, it's a big one for them tonight.
I mean, even that might not be enough.
You look at some of the games they've got coming up, they're going to be difficult, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it could very quickly be elimination, and thanks for coming.
Yeah, it could be TFC, yeah.
Free kick Rangers on this near side. James Tavernier's over it. Hands on hips, he waits to deliver the free kick. There's a huge group of players just in and around the D of the Roma box. Just a couple of yards from the near side touchline. Tavernier rolls it short, low to central position for Barron. Right footed, looking to work it back to Tavernier. Comes off the defender, off Zeki Celik, and behind for a Rangers corner on this near side. Rangers 0, Roma 1, 26 and a half on the clock.
Clever wee ball from Conor Barron, that, just reversing it. I don't think many were expecting it. And from a defender just getting a touch to flick it away for the corner. It's going to be Tavernier.
There will be an in-swinger from Tavernier on this near side. Rangers attack the Broomloan, in it comes, headed away by Cristante. Breaks Gassama's way. Back towards the centre circle though, as he plays it out to the far side for Aarons, then play it back to McHoman, and then to the left of the circle for Barron. Looks up, long ball, the right foot for Suter. Suter heads it into the box, onto the chest of Sharmiti. It's bouncing and dancing around. Gassama couldn't quite get it to sit in front of him, and it's headed away by Roma. And then a foul by Barron on Sule, and that will be a free kick to Roma. When about midway inside their own half, right to centre. 27 minutes played, Rangers 0, Roma 1.
Yeah, I mean, the delivery from the initial corner from Tavernier, they've loaded the back end of the box and it goes front post. And another foul from Connor Barron. They're not big fouls, but that's probably 3 or 4 now. He's just going to need to be careful, because I think the referee's probably looking at him and think, one more maybe, you're in the book.
Slipped out to that left-hand side for Roma. Simicas, now it's Endika, and he plays it to his right for Cristante. Out to Mancini on this near side. Clips it forward looking for Dovbyk, but he was in an offside position. It comes all the way through to Butland. Gasparini down there is aghast at the ball that was played forward there. As Suter tries to whip it out to McHoma, who can't control, and it's out for a Roma throw-in on this near side.
It wasn't the best ball from Suter, let's be honest. Played a kind of really quick bouncing ball that just spun right in front of McHoma, who tried to play it first time. Just take a touch probably would be my advice on that occasion. Sule's been the best player for Roma so far. Yeah, I mean, he's been he's looked the most dangerous player on the pitch when he's been in possession of the ball. He's really looked impressive so far, Sule.
Joined last year from Juventus. Sule, he's scored 4 goals now this season. He managed 5 in the entirety of last season, and he's closing in on his tally for last campaign. Will be a free kick then to Roma, and Sule is over it himself. Left-footed delivery coming up here. Cristante is at the front of a line of 4 Roma players, though they're all moving around now as the free kick's taken short out to this near side. Zeki Celik, left foot cross ball comes in, headed half away by Rangers. It's still in there though. It's laid back to Cristante, who slices his shot wide of the right hand side of the goal frame, and it stays 1-0 to Roma as we approach the half hour at Ibrox.
Yeah, it was well worked. I think everybody thought the initial delivery was going to come in. They do 2-3 passes, then it becomes an in-swinger. Rangers don't really get it clear, breaks to the edge of the box, but he was leaning back. You could see it was a difficult one for him to take first time with a shot. It'd have been, you know, a really good bit of technique and skill to get that on target.
First meeting between Rangers and Roma. This is Rangers 26th against a side from Italy. Only won 6 of the previous 25. Sharmiti nods it out to the right for Aarons. Sharmiti continues his run. Aarons plays it, more simple ball in field to Tavernier. Back to Aarons, now Raskan, first time to Moore. Under pressure from Elayanui. It breaks to Tavernier. His ball forward is flicked on by Sharmiti, but all the way through to Svilar as Rangers struggle to threaten the Serbian goalkeeper.
It was a really difficult pass to execute from Tavernier. I mean, they'd worked it reasonably well with a wee triangle to get Tavernier free. He's breaking obviously on his wrong side, on the left hand side. He's on his left foot and then tries to force a pass into Sharmiti's feet.
From Rangers, Moore flicks it with the outside of the boot, trying to get it across the 6-yard line. The goalkeeper's onto it. It's Sharmiti and Gassama both trying to get onto the end of the pass. Yeah. Right idea, wrong execution.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, there's a great ball.
Down the right here for Dovbyk, for Roma. Suter comes out to meet him, holding him off.
Great
John Suter. And he wins the free kick off the
brilliant defender,
Ukrainian striker.
Really good, yeah, it's just the one before that. I mean, again, it's a wee mix-up from Roma. I mean, it's been their mistakes more often than not that have presented Rangers with opportunities, and it's Mikey Moore this occasion managed to break down the left-hand side. He goes for the outside of the right foot, kind of swerved ball into the box. I mean, yeah, possibly the right idea, but not the right execution.
As for Dovbyk there, he was top scorer for Roma last season with 17 goals. He was signed from Girona last summer, the summer before last now. where he scored 24 in 39 appearances with the Catalan club. You'll remember perhaps that they finished third in La Liga and they were battling for the title for a lot of that season. Dovbyk was signed by Roma. Girona replaced him with Bojan Miovski, who left Aberdeen. Miovski now here, of course, after a failed move to Spain. As Moore picks up for Rangers in the midfield, he's done well, darts one way then the other, and then passes it out to this left for Giga onto the touchline for Mekhoma. Midway inside Roma territory now, tries to slip it through to Raskan. There's a misunderstanding though, and Mancini clears. Here's Moore, he's near side, and Mekhoma goes out to play for a Roma throw-in. Rangers supporters unhappy, as is Moore, but pretty cut and dried from where we are.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of wee niggles at his ankles just as he was trying to run with the ball, and he has looked sharp when he's been on the ball so far this evening, but the ref didn't provide the fouls, and then eventually it was definitely a throw into Roma was the right decision there.
Roma have been better away from home than they have been in the Olimpico this season. The defeat at the San Siro on Sunday was their first away defeat of the campaign, and they'd won all their other matches on the road going into that one. And as I said, it was a game that they could actually have won, let alone taken a draw, but here they come, Pellegrini dinking it forward looking for Dovbyk, but Suter throws up his right foot and gets it away, albeit Aarons runs into trouble over on that far side. Kostas Tsimikas rolling it infield for Dovbyk, the left angle of the box, back to Pellegrini. Elayanui on the far side, looking to get back onto it. He does, at the byline, fires it across, and it's cleared there on the 6-yard line by Mekhoma, and then a free kick for a foul on Gassama, and it will be a Rangers free kick as they tried to get the game underway quickly. The referee wasn't ready. There was a foul by Pellegrini on the Rangers man, so just a little bump. It is Rangers 0, Roma 1 on 34 minutes.
Yeah, that was a really dangerous situation for Rangers. Aaron's getting a bit of a fanco and the ball going down the left hand side. He takes it to the byline, flashes it back across. I mean, the ball I think would have been to Cristante, who made a kind of 6-yard run, but it goes past him, the cut back, and eventually well dealt with the Rangers in clearing it.
The Rangers giving it away, Cristante helping it forward there, and it's Rascani blocks as Barron loses out there to El Ayanui, and it's played through to Dovbyk, can't make it stick inside the Rangers box, and Giga Carmley rolls it out to Mekhoma on this near side before knocking it up the line, looking for Sharmiti, who goes down, and Ndika is penalised, and Rangers have a free kick just inside Roma territory on this near side.
Yeah, I mean again he's offering himself and making a reasonable ball into a good ball by getting his body in there and drawing the foul. Very calm from Giga. I'm not sure he meant to nutmeg the guy there as he was playing it out of his own kind of 12-yard box, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Get out and about, missed the scores earlier. Celtic beaten 3-1 away to Midtjylland, who are leading the Europa League, and in the Conference League, Aberdeen picking up their first point and a goalless draw in Cyprus against AEK Larnaca. Was Midtjylland 3, Celtic 1 in the Europa League, as the coefficient continues to take a battering. There might not be too much league phase football for Scottish clubs to look forward to in the future, the way it's going. And the season after next, the number of clubs that will be representing Scotland in Europe will drop from 5 to 4. Even the champions are going to have to come through 2, maybe even 3 rounds of qualifying to make it into the tournament proper. It is Roma on the ball here. It's flipped forward to Dovbyk. He's goal side is Suter. He's on the left foot. Suter trying to get back. He sets up his teammate who rolls home. It's a fabulous finish for 2-0. And Roma slicing Rangers open. John Suter got caught in the wrong position. And it's a fabulous, calm, rolled finish into the bottom right corner. And it is Rangers 0, Roma 2.
Again, Liam, I mean, you've just got to say it's incredibly poor defending. I mean, it's a ball played. John Suter, he's got to be aware of the fact that Dovbyk has peeled off the back of his shoulder. He isn't, and when it comes into Dovbyk, you've got to say he does brilliantly well. He takes his touch, and then you think he's going to get a shot off on his right foot, chops onto his left, then he's got a slight kind of mind and patience to then just roll it into the path, and it's an easy side foot into the bottom finish past Jack Butland. But yet again, I mentioned the defending at the top. You cannot give away goals as cheaply as this.
Now looking at something, as we see a replay of Pellegrini rolling it home into that bottom right corner away from a despairing Butland. But there is a check going on here. I'm sure if it's an offside check.
Must be.
Because there was a player in an offside position, but I'm not sure he's affecting the play.
Yeah, it wasn't him. I mean, if it is offside, it's got to be Dove.
Goal stands.
Yeah, I didn't look at
2-0 Roma. Pellegrini.
John Searle's got to do better, Liam. End of story. You can't get wrong side when a straight ball in 20 yards from goal. Two cheap goals.
That could be game over.
Yeah, it's a long way back now, Liam. Jeez, but I mean, cheap as anything.
Second of the season for Lorenzo Pellegrini. A calm finish it was, but all too simple for the Romans. Rangers are staring at a 7th successive European defeat for the first time in their history. John Suter, the side foot ball out to the right for Aarons, then in field to Raskan, right of the centre circle up against Cristante, and turned onto the halfway line for Aarons, who knocks it forward to Barron. Pellegrini got the second goal, does well defensively as Gassama slips, bounces straight back up. He's on the ball here, right hand side of the box. Great play by Gassama to the byline, across it comes. Keeper can't get it there. Moore's efforts blocked brilliantly by Mancini. Outstanding defending. The Rangers with a chance there to pull themselves right back into this, having just gone 2 down. It stays at 2-0.
It's the first time we've seen Gassama really show his pace and get to the byline. He does ever so well. He goes for the ball across the kind of goalkeeper's 6-yard line, 3-4 yards out to Moore, who'd made a good run, but the goalkeeper gets the slightest of touches on it, and then the follow-up shot, there's so many bodies in front of it, they just threw themselves in front of the follow-up shot. Roman made the block, but that would have been an ideal way to respond to going 2-0 down. That
played back to Butland at the edge of his own box. Just over 5 minutes to play in this first half. Rangers 0, Roma 2. So it's passed back to Jack Butland inside his own penalty area. And Aberdeen picking up a point tonight, Stephen, in Cyprus. By and large, it's been a woeful European season for Scottish clubs.
Given Aberdeen's last European result, you've got to say for them away in Europe, a clean sheet. I mean, that, to me,
they could have won it right at the end.
It's a good point for them, but again, it's not a win. And yeah, I mean, this season in Europe, it's been a right old struggle for our Scottish teams. There's no doubt about it.
It's all going to come home to roost in the not too distant future. Butland at the edge of his box, long ball with the left foot over the head of Sharmiti, won by Ndika. And he has it on this near side. Down he goes, fouled by Sharmiti, free kick Roma. And we're already at a point where Danny Röhl's got to be considering half-time changes here, and he'll just hope it doesn't get any worse between now and the interval. We saw Celtic earlier 3-0 down at the break in Denmark, and it really would be game over. El Ayanui switching it out on this near side, misunderstanding though with Mancini. It's out for a Rangers throw-in, which Mekhoma takes and pulls it back to Giga, and then field to Raskan. Forward it comes to Gassama, who's tripped in the centre circle by Hermoso. That will be a Rangers free kick just inside their own half.
Yeah, I think that one you could say was a clear foul on Gassama. Hermoso just getting too tight, tries to spin him and he goes to ground, but he has been guilty tonight of been going to the ground awfully easy when he's been touched, but the referee didn't have many other options there but to give the foul, clear foul.
Rangers have it over on that right hand side with Aarons. He goes back to Suter and then forward to Raskan. He's just giving it straight to Sule, who's driving forward. Rangers asking for trouble, rakes to Dovbyk. His effort with the left foot's blocked by Suter and behind for a Roma corner as they look for a third there, but my goodness me, what a dreadful ball out of defence by Nikola Raskan.
I don't know what he's seen. I really don't. I mean, it's not as if the Roma jerseys aren't bright enough that you're not going to see them. It's an absolutely woeful pass. Puts his team under massive pressure. They counter quickly, get the ball out to Dovbyk, and he gets the shot off, but it's a good block in the end for another corner kick.
Corner over on the far side, in swinger Pellegrini bends it into the box. The header's half away and then bundled clear by Barron, out for a throw into Roma over on the far side. Approaching the halfway point of this match, Matchday 4 in the Europa League. This run of 6.5 matches that Rangers are on just now, they've shipped 19 goals. And Tsimikas looking to set up another one for Roma. Here his cross is beaten away by Tavernier. And now it's Sharmiti. Challenge comes in there from Zeki Celik. Out to Tsimikas on the far side. He gets it back immediately. And it's played in field to Pellegrini. He'll shift it to the right of the centre circle there for Mancini. Out to this near side touchline for Sule. Then back it comes to Mancini. 42.5 played. Rangers 0, AS Roma 2. Into Hermoso. Onto the touchline on the far side. It's El Ayanui. And it's sloppy from the back by Svilar this time, the Roma keeper, who puts it straight out for a Rangers throw-in on the far side. Can they get something back before half-time?
I'd give them a massive boost, it really would, Liam. I mean, the goals they've given away in this first half have been really, really cheap. They've not really asked enough questions themselves.
Barron back to Suter. Switches it to left of the centre circle for Giga. Into Meghoma. Giga fouled by Sule off the ball after it had gone. It'll be a free kick to Rangers running about the halfway line on this near side. They kind of need something to grab onto here. Moore, ball in feels poor and it's given away, and Sule has it back on this near side. Gets it from El Ayanui, but then Gasparini down there with his head in his hands, and Roma contrived to give it away. Meghoma has it on the near side, goes back to Giga, who in turn goes back to Butland. Not far off the final minute of the opening 45. You would think if you were just looking at the two managers, you'd think it was the Roma boss.
I know, he's raging down there.
He's not happy at all.
And it just shows you the standards that he's used to. I mean, if they give away a simple pass, he's absolutely on them. I mean, they're 2-0 up away from home, but he's giving his players it tight.
Well, you'd have been very annoyed that they lost that game at Milan on Sunday, given the umpteen chances that they created in the game. Milan had loads of chances too. As Aarons with a long chip ball forward down the right for Gassama. He's on to it here, just beyond the midway point of the Roma half. It's Gassama doing well, taking on Hermoso, getting away from him, getting to the byline. Gassama chops back. Could have had a foul there, but now he throws himself to the
ground. Why is he doing this?
He says no.
It's about the third time he's done it in the match.
He's clearly frustrated. He didn't get one before that, and he's literally thrown himself to the ground as Pellegrini slips up Dobbik in the Rangers box on his left foot. Closed down, rolls it back to Sule, chops onto his left side, he shoots just wide. Fabulous lightning counter-attack by Roma that. The Rangers supporters booing the referee because they felt they should have had a free kick earlier. Gassama was clearly trying to buy it though, and they're fortunate they've not gone further behind there on the counter from the visitors as we go into the first of 1 minute, the only minute at the end of the first half of stoppage time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Gassama, there was a wee nibble on him on the previous occasion, then he turns back and then he's trying to buy the foul. I can see from here, it's 90 yards away from me, that he's trying to get the foul and the referee's not buying it, and then the counter-attack was absolutely devastating. 3 passes and they're in Rangers box. Again, it was Dobbik. I felt as though he could have got his shot off on his right foot. He tries to chop in his left, eventually lays it back, and then the curling effort, it's got to be only a couple inches by the post.
Roma well worth their 2-0 lead at the moment. I said just the 1 minute added, and we're hurtling towards the end of that. More bones to be picked out of a Scottish club in Europe this season at the interval here, and the guys will do that in a moment, because Rangers are 2 down to Roma, the 2022 Conference League winners, 2023 Europa League finalists, the year after Rangers were in the tournament. Indeed, Roma sporting one of the players who got the better of them in the final, in Evan Ndika at the back, who started for Eintracht Frankfurt in that final in Seville in 2022. But they have a long way to come back into this one. Sule and Pellegrini with the goals, both goals that Rangers could have avoided. They failed to, and now they've got a mountain to climb yet again if they are to avoid a 4th successive defeat in the Europa League and a 7th successive defeat in the European competition all told. Loads to do. Half-time at Ibrox, match day 4 in the Europa League. Bottom side Rangers 0, Roma 2.
Rangers in the UEFA Europa League.
Live on Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland. She flew across the world for her sister's wedding.
We didn't think you were coming.
Surprise!
But ended up at her funeral.
I'm questioning how and why she fell.
In a community full of secrets, Mia wants answers.
So the policewoman's married to the Undertaker?
Yeah.
And the policewoman who doesn't want a post-mortem is the half-sister to the fiancé that was the last person to see my sister alive.
That about sums it up.
How far would you go for family?
Do you know what happened to her up there?
I don't.
Then we have to find out.
The Ridge. Watch all episodes now on BBC iPlayer.
It's been a tough watch in European football for Scottish sides once again overall, although Aberdeen did come away with a 0-0 draw against AEK Larnaca to pick up their first point in the Conference League. But a painful night for Celtic in Denmark as they went down 3-1 to Midtjylland. We'll get some reaction from Denmark very soon. But let's concentrate on matters in the first half at Ibrox, where it is Rangers trailing Roma by 2-0. James McFadden and Tom English with me in the studio. And James, there's just not been enough from Rangers in this first half, has there?
No, and I don't know what's worse, the team's performance or the fact that Tom was absolutely spot on at the start of the show.
And that's always annoying.
You know it.
But no, it's not been. Spoke about it. Tom, in the build-up said, under Danny Rule, Rangers had looked more solid and had to be more solid and better defensively. And unfortunately, it's been the case the same old for Rangers. Jigger switches off in the first one, ball watching, caught under the ball and caught out at the back post, and John Souttar, from a position where he should be goal side, find himself the wrong side, doesn't recover, and Roma go and make it 2-0. Roma have had chances as well. Rangers have had a couple of half chances as well, if you like, but yeah, it's just not been good enough from Rangers.
No shots on target, Tom English, from Rangers in that first half. And James rightly talks about the problems at the back, but still no light at the end of the tunnel for Youssef Chermiti. Although he has scored domestically, but he had that one opportunity, didn't he, in the first half, and he didn't take it.
He had one opportunity, got the benefit of a lucky ricochet, and pulls it wide. Hit the target, make the goalkeeper make a save. Don't make it easy for the goalkeeper by hitting it wide, which is what he did. So I thought that was pretty poor. And Chermiti, it's not his fault that Rangers spent 8 million on him. It's not Danilo's fault that they spent 6 million on him. It's not Majowski's fault that they're Rangers, I presume, paying him a small fortune. But that's 3 strikers and none of them are working right now. Very, very expensive, the 3 of them collectively. And they're not getting any change out of them really at all. Not much from the midfield either. Gassama is working hard, but it's just very blah from Rangers. And then there's vulnerabilities at the back. Faddy described the goals perfectly. 2 goals, it could be 3. And it's kind of what I think most of us expected. Rangers, I feel for Danny Rule. None of this is his fault, but it's his responsibility now. And I don't know where you begin to rebuild this team, because I think you're looking at another rebuild here. Danny Rule would want to be the second coming of Alex Ferguson to make this team into something substantial, the way it is. I think they need a lot of new players, and it's going to cost fortune, because this is a team that's been put together, net spend, everyone keeps saying it, 21 million pounds, minimum 30 million pounds spent when you include the fees that they've got in. Minimum 30 million on this team. I mean, it's an extraordinary, it's almost a feat that they've spent so much money to get so little. I don't know how they've done it.
It's quite incredible, Stephen Thompson. You're at Ibrox this evening, and it wasn't that long ago We were watching some great European nights for Rangers against big opponents. You think of Borussia Dortmund, RB Leipzig. Big nights where the fans were fully engaged. You're thinking Giovanni Van Bronckhorst in the dugout. And then you flash right forward to what we're seeing tonight, and just the lack of intensity. The fans don't seem to really be buying into it so far. How much have Rangers regressed for you in the last few years in terms of Europe?
Well, I mean, you'll need to go back to last season to, they made the quarterfinals and their European performances were good by and large. And that had been the case for a number of years for the club, especially in this tournament. But this season's been, it's a different group of players, and obviously you had a different manager in at the beginning, whose ideas clearly were going from what he thought into his players onto the pitch, and the performances were really, really poor. I'm with Tom here. I mean, none of this falls at Danny Röhl's door. He's trying different things, trying a different formation, but he's not about to come in and make these players into players that are all of a sudden going to be able to beat Roma, and that's the problem. So where do you look then? You look at the recruitment, and Tom mentioned the figures there. The recruitment hasn't been good enough, nowhere near it. So the players that are out there, this is what Rangers have at their disposal, and it's fallen short, and it's fallen short at this level, and you can see it, and it's fairly blatant for everyone to see. So there's no way to solve that now, because it's November, very beginning of November. January they might be able to have something to do with it, but they're not going to be making wholesale changes in January. Wouldn't I thought Danny Röhl will be allowed to bring in some players that I thought. So you're going to have to look at next summer before there's another overhaul, which is what I think most Rangers supporters thought, that this summer was going to bring this success under the 49ers and the new manager and spending money, and this is going to be it. Rangers are going to be back in amongst it, and it hasn't transpired, and it's not going to transpire with this group of players either. So I mean, it's tough to watch, and the support, I have to say, tonight at the start of the game, the atmosphere was really good, what you'd expect on a big European night here at Ibrox. But of course, as the game's gone on, it's got quieter and quieter, as you'd expect.
January is a notoriously difficult transfer window, but do Rangers need the overhaul in the January transfer window, James?
Do they need it? They need it right now.
Yeah.
Are they going to do it? Are they going to get it? I don't think so, because the overhaul was supposed to be the summer. But when you look at what's gone out the door, and I know Tom's spoken about money, and he's bang on about the money, but let's look at the actual replacements, the players that have gone out and the ones that have been brought in. Add to the fact they've cost more money, they're not better than the players that have left the club, who at that time were deemed to be not all of them, but mostly not good enough to take the club forward. So that would be a bigger worry for me. The fact that it's spending money, the fact that the turnover of players Rangers have had in the summer, and now we're saying actually they need a lot more. A lot of loan signings, particularly in defence, which I don't think can ever be good. So there's a lot of work needing done by Rangers. I think the initial signs were that Danny Röhl came in and he'd made a positive impression for me, but when you get exposed when you play against top quality opposition, I don't know if Roma are top quality opposition, but they're certainly better than Rangers.
You look at the fall here. And look back to the season when they got to the Europa League final, and it seems trippy that Rangers were in a European final and only lost it at a penalty shootout just 3 years ago. They went to Dortmund and won 4-2. That was a Dortmund team with Hummels, Akanji, Bellingham, Royce, Malen, Brandt. They then beat Leipzig at home 3-1, one of the great Ibrox nights. Playing for Leipzig, Guardiol, Heinrichs, Olmo, Nkunku, Soboslai. Rangers are beating these teams. I mean, the idea of Rangers going toe-to-toe with these guys now is just, it's wild. I mean, you couldn't imagine them getting within 3 or 4 goals.
I feel like we're dancing around it a little bit here, and Rangers fans, I think, are pretty sure in their minds at the moment that the spotlight has to fall on the sporting director Kevin Thelwell and the chief executive Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, in the here and now, absolutely it does, right? But they've made a bad situation worse. They've thrown money at it, and they've made a bad situation worse. How in the name of God they've done it, I don't know. But people before them have made mistakes, thrown money at it and made mistakes. So these are just the latest custodians, if you like, of the club that have made things worse. But they're not the only ones. This is, since that season, 21-22, a colossal amount of money has been wasted and a colossal amount of bad decisions have been made.
Stephen, at Ibrox this evening in this second half, can you envisage any sort of scenario where you see Rangers storming back into this match, or will it be a sea of blue seats by the hour mark?
Well, as you well know, at 2-0, it's a precarious scoreline, so if Rangers get the next goal, then they're back in this game. The crowd will get right behind them, and you never know what is possible in football. You know, we've seen it enough times not to be surprised by things like that. However, there wasn't enough in that first half to suggest for me that Rangers are capable of doing that, but there's always a chance. Clearly he'll look to his bench. I don't know whether he'll do that now or later into the game, and you'd imagine that Mijoski and Danilo are on the bench, Ant-Man's on the bench, Asgard's on the bench, all attacking players, and who are flattered to deceive mostly, but he has options there if he wants to do that and maybe change the formation, try and get two up top and just change things about a wee bit. What's for sure is if they lose the next game, then yes, most people next goal, then most people will be leaving the stadium. So I mean, what they can't afford to do is concede an early third goal in this second half. And as I said, at 2-0, if you just keep yourself in the game and you get the next goal, whether it be in 80 minutes or whether it be in 46 minutes, then you're back in it. But you know, looking here on the balance of what I've watched in the first half, I'd say it'd be a long shot.
You look at it, what they used to have. I'm not saying Rangers were any great. They were that particular season when they got to the final. They were very good, but they weren't a great team in the league. Very, very inconsistent. But they had Bassi, they had Aribo, they had Golson, they had big guys, physical athletes, cover a lot of ground. They could bully people at their best. They don't have anyone like that now. They're just a weak team.
Lack of character now.
Lack of character, lack of height, lack of physicality, lack of aggression, lack of leadership, lack of a load of things.
Lack of awareness at the back, Giga, as well, in terms of that first goal in particular, James. And he came in for a lot of criticism against Celtic. Does he make it out for the second half?
Probably, but he shouldn't. If we're being honest,
is it his man that he drops?
Yeah, he drops him. He's in. I don't know if he's picking him up, Tomo, man for man, but he's certainly in that area. And when the ball goes, because it's a kind of shorter delivery, he starts to edge forward a wee bit and just totally switches off. Then he tries to correct it. But look, I think that we were all surprised that he started, given that, you know, his performance levels against Celtic. But I mean, I don't know. I would have expected him maybe to be part of the substitutions at the weekend. He wasn't. He played at right back in a back four as Tavernier went into midfield. So I mean, either Danny Rowell likes something about him, but certainly, you know, he has been. It's not just at the weekend where I thought he was a bit slack. He's certainly switched off at that point tonight. It's been any time he's played, really, that it's been a theme of Giga's performances for Rangers.
Right, Tomo, you're the Rangers manager. What would you do at half time?
There's a thought. Could you imagine the panic in people's faces if I walked out that tunnel? Jeez,
none more so than
things
yours.
are bad enough. Things are bad enough. I honestly don't know, Liam. I think to get back into the game, they're going to have to certainly be a lot more creative than they were in that first half. As, you know, you mentioned no shots and goals, so I'd be keen to get another striker onto the pitch. They're just coming out of the tunnel just now, and it looks like it doesn't look like they've made any changes that I can see. So same starting 11 for this second 45. I'd imagine it won't be long before you see those changes.
Well, let's see what happens in this second half. Can Rangers claw anything back from this match?
I just told a lie because I've just seen Asgard walk out with his strip on. So there you go. But he was late out of the tunnel. So there you are.
Stop
Asgard's coming on.
His fault. Great stuff. Thanks, Tomo, for that breaking news. It is all about to get started at Ibrox as Roma enter the field of play as well. Commentary does indeed come from Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
Thank you, Jonathan. The change will be Stephen was saying, Taylor Asgard, who was sent off in the first half of that semi-final on Sunday. Rangers battled manfully after his ordering off. But the 11 men of Celtic eventually overran them in extra time. Looks like Meg Homa is the man who will come off to be replaced by the Liverpool-born Norway international. Rangers' last home win against an Italian club was against Parma in the third qualifying round of the Champions League in 1999. Vidmar and Reina scored in a 2-0 victory for Dick Advocaat's team. Parma had Fabio Cannavaro sent off in the first half of that one, which helped them out, I suppose, on the night. Rangers, one of 4 clubs coming into this match day without a point, along with Utrecht, Salzburg and Nice. Utrecht have drawn with Porto tonight, and Salzburg 3-1 over go-ahead Eagles as Rangers kick off the second half, shooting from left to right in the blue shirts. Roma in their bright amber with dark red flashes will go right to left towards the Broomloan Road end. And that is that one change for Rangers. Then Mekoma off and Asgard on.
Looks like they'll go to a back 4 now. Liam, Tavernier on the right hand side of it, Suter and Giga, and Max Aaron's going to left back.
You had to do something, didn't you?
Yeah, you know, and again, it'd be easy just to stick, but he's twisted and changed the formation. Let's see if it has a positive effect on the players.
Well, Rangers have it, but there's an offside flag, goes up against Aarons over on the far side. And a free kick for Roma, who won 5 of their first 6 Serie A games this season, including a derby win over Lazio. They lost to Shea Adams Torino in that 6-match sequence. They host Udinese on Sunday. Lennon Miller's side is that long ball forward for Roma, comes off the head of Giga back towards his own corner flag, and he has to try to recover and boot it clear, but there's a flag against the visitors this time. As we tick into the second minute in the second half, 2-0 to Roma. What have Rangers got in the tank here? They had a much better second half against Celtic on Sunday, and that's what Danny Röhl's got to pin his hopes on here, that they can somehow try and unearth something in this second half against stellar opposition.
Yeah, it's a difficult task, Liam, there's no doubt about it. I mean, Roma are a very decent team. You can see that. Quality individuals are very slick in what they do. They're passing. Oh, no.
Oh, Asgard, dreadful ball. Giga bails him out with a challenge on Sule. And a lot of these passes from Rangers players in that area, just the cusp of their defensive third. Suicidal at times.
Yeah, really bad, Liam. I mean, you know, the giveaways, you saw the Raskin one in the first half. There was another couple, on one occasion. Asgard's just on the pitch, and very lucky that they managed to make a wee recovering tackle there, or else he'd have been bearing down on Jack Butland's goal.
Butland goes long, looking for Shermiti. He manages to win the header. He's got it out to Moore as well. It's good play by Shermiti. He's looked okay tonight, actually.
Yeah.
As Moore runs into traffic, and it's Cristante wins it back for Roma. Fired in field, Gassama wins it back. Now Asgard, can he pop it through to Shermiti? He can on the left foot. That's another really important block. Mancini again, he did that in the first half. Moore picks up in the far side touchline, rolls it back to Aarons. Now it's with Raskan. Picks up at the Roma box, decides to go for goal, and he's not a million miles away as it goes wide of the right hand post. So he looks to the heavens there. Nicola Raskan, goal kick Roma, 2-0 Roma. Signs of life from Rangers there.
Yeah, and you can hear the crowd getting right behind it. I mean, the first one's a wee slide rule pass into Chermiti, a fabulous block from Hermoso, and then the next one was Raskin, a good 25 yards out. He catches it well, but he's kind of cut across it, and it's always drifting away from that top left-hand corner.
Pilar plays it short to Hermoso, who rolls it out to Tsimikas on the near side. Low ball forward is found Pellegrini. His pass forward cut out by Raskan and out for a Roma throw-in. Tsimikas making the move on loan after his hopes of the left-back slot at Liverpool were perhaps made even thinner by the arrival of Milos Kerkez in the summer. Andy Robertson came into the Liverpool team last couple of matches and played in the Champions League last night against Real Madrid and was one of their star players.
Yeah, as well. It was good to see. Liam.
Tsimikas knew he wasn't getting a game. Robertson fighting for his life at Anfield there.
Not a bad loan club to go to right enough.
Yeah. Ball is switched from left to right by Roma. It's now with Mancini, who turns it back to Indica. As I said, started against Rangers in that final of this tournament a few years ago. It's with Tsimikas, who goes back to Laianawi. And to Cristante, under pressure from Asgard. The Italy international recovers well and rolls it forward there out to the far side. Sule, and then digged forward there to Pellegrini. Up against Suter, who holds him off, who's actually tripped by Pellegrini, who got Roma's second goal. And Rangers have a free kick. Roma though with a 2-0 lead. Raskan this time dinking it forward, looking for Chermiti, and just a bit too much on it. And it comes all the way through to Svilar, who holds on.
Yeah, I don't know whether or not Chermiti had gone a wee bit early anyway. It looked very tight, and the pass just skipping through to Svilar.
It's back here with Hermoso, former Atletico Madrid player, to Indica. And then Cristante rolling it out to the far side. It's forward down the line by Mancini. Back to Cristante. Midway inside his own half, back to Indica. And to his right, Cristante. To the touchline, Mancini. Into Cristante again. Roma trying to get control of the game again, as they had for long spells in that first half. Pinged out onto the chest on this near side of Hermoso. Rolls it back the way, and a little bit of a mess of that, Roma. El Ayanui's managed to recover the situation inside his own box as he finds Tsimikas on this near side. It's a long ball with the left foot, looking to get it in behind for Dovbyk. The header away by Suter. The foul by Barron and Pellegrini, was it? No, says the ref. It's out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side.
There's a wee bit more zip about Rangers at the start of this second half. Definitely trying to get more men forward and put more pressure on Roma, which they need to do, given they're 2-0 down.
There were teams missing out on getting through the league phase on 10 points. Last season 2 went through, 2 missed out. So Rangers sitting on 0 right now, and the smart money is on them being on 0 by the close of business tonight as well. So looking at them to win their final 4 matches.
Tough going, that. Big ask, Liam.
Got to go to Ferencváros, Porto. These difficult games, isn't it? Good standard of tournament this, but it is a tournament that Rangers have grown accustomed to competing in.
Yeah, they have. There's no doubt about it. Over the course of the last 4 or 5 years. That's why it's been really disappointing, I think, for the supporters that this campaign has started so miserably.
It is Rangers on the ball here with Aarons rolling it back the way to Giga, squares it to Suter, and back to Butland. Short ball out of the defence there, Butland to Barron. He's on it here, under control, under pressure though from Laianui. There's a loose one out of defence by Suter, picked up by Dovbyk, and then rolled out to Tsimikas on this near side. Infield for Pellegrini, Raskan all over him. Down goes Pellegrini. Raskan's pinched it off him. He's done well, but then rather than pass, he takes another touch and loses it to Cristante. And now it's with Pellegrini. Rolls it out to the right-hand side for Mancini. And support there, Zeki Celik to Mancini. Back to Celik again. Being forced back towards his own half though, as he lays it back to Indica. And then Hermoso out to this left-hand side for Tsimikas. Hermoso, left foot, low ball, infield for Pellegrini. Calmly rolled home Roma's second goal on 36 minutes after Sule opened the scoring on 13. Roma down the right-hand side have it. Infield it comes to Sule, the right angle of the box. On the far side, fired across, but it's a comfortable take from Celik's. Low ball in, Butland has it on the 6-yard line. And it stays Rangers 0, Roma 2.
Great spell of possession from Roma there. They kept the ball for at least a minute or so, and then eventually got in behind Rangers. They picked the wrong option. Pellegrini, and he was in. Should have cut the ball back. Penalty spot, 6-yard line. He tries to flash it across the face, and everybody in the box had come back the way for the cut back.
Suter out to Tavernier on this near side. I heard the guys at half-time talking about the fact Rangers were in the final of this tournament in 2022. But can't forget, they were in the quarter-finals just months ago.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, I mean, Rangers fans Thursday nights here at Ibrox, so used to seeing their team put in brilliant performances.
Finished top 8 to the league phase last season. They're propping things up right now. Tavernier gets it from Butland in his own box, then launches a long ball forward that comes off the head of Cristante, and it settles with Tsimikas on this near side, and then turned back to Hermoso on the halfway line. El Ayanui back to Hermoso, former Spain international, a handful of caps up till 2019. He hasn't been seen in the national team since, as Raskan wins it back for Rangers and plays it to his left for Giga midway inside his own half. Short ball out to Aarons on the far side, who rolls it back down the line for Giga, who goes back to Butland. I mean, Rangers see more of the ball in the second half, but they're not going anywhere with it.
Yeah, just in this last couple of minutes they've had a wee bit of the ball, but you're right, yeah, and they're all in the wrong places.
Barron picks it up in the midfield and goes back to his captain. It's Tavernier who took that semi-final to extra time on Sunday with his late penalty. And it's turned back to Butland. Nowhere near as many clean sheets as Jack Butland would like. This is his 22nd game of the season. He's only managed 5 this term. Rangers leaking goals on a regular basis. Butland short ball out of his box for Asgard, central position, but facing his own goal. Turns.
I mean, that's not what you want. I mean, your number 10 is now on the ball 20 yards from your own goal. Not really what you're looking for.
They can't get through. They just cannot get through. It's too high a step up in class for this Rangers team against Roma. Long ball, Asgard's giving chase, but out comes the goalkeeper Svilar to the right hand side and smashes it high up into the air with the right foot, drops off the head of Giga, heads it back into Roma territory. Cristante and El Ayanui out to the right hand side, chasing after it down the right is Mancini, and they have to be careful. It's Giga this time, as Giga does actually get between the man and the ball, wins it back, finds Barron at the edge of his own box and turns it out to the left for Aarons, drives up to the halfway line and wins the throw-in on that far side off Cristante. 56.5 played. Rangers 0, AS Roma 2.
At least on that occasion when Aarons did receive the ball, he tried to drive the team forward, got a good 20-30 yards with the ball before being tackled. I mean, a lot of it's been sideways passing from Rangers at the back in their own final third.
Tavernier's trying to get them up the pitch and he's done so. Goes it out to Aarons on the left, then forward to Moore. Struggled to get into the game, Mikey Moore. That's a good ball from him on the outside of the boot. Finds Tavernier attacking the left angle of the Roma box. Rolls it infield to Moore. Just a couple of touches, shoots wide. That's much better from Rangers and from Tavernier and Moore. Good interchange over on the far side. It broke back to Moore from Tavernier at the edge of the Roma box. He let fly, but it goes the wrong side of the post and it stays 2-0 to the Italians.
Yeah, Tavernier had narrowed right in and found himself almost in a left wing position. Mikey Moore with a lovely wee outside of the ball, outside of the football down the wing. Tavernier takes his time, spots the run of Moore, who'd made up the gap himself, takes a touch and really unlucky, just hits an early shot, tries to curl it round into the left hand post of Svilar, but doesn't get enough round the side of the ball.
Still to get an effort on target against Svilar's goal tonight, Rangers. Tavernier back to Suter on this right hand side, just inside his own half, and he can only turn it into touch for a Roma throw-in just inside their own half now. Tsimikas wants the ball on this near side. Rule to the right, Gasperini to the left. The two managers at the polar opposite ends of their coaching careers. Gasperini, 67, Europa League winning coach. That fabulous win over Leverkusen. Lookman hat-trick in the final in Dublin last year. It was longer ago than that, as Gassama comes down the right. This sliding challenge from Tsimikas and out for a throw into Rangers on this near side. It was a goalless draw the last time Gasparini took charge of a side against the Scottish team against Celtic in the Champions League as Barron comes forward down the right hand side of the box, fires it across, high ball looking for Asgard, but it's clutched onto well by Svilar, and it stays Rangers 0, Roma 2.
It was a decent wee move from Rangers, a good run from Conor Barron in behind and a lovely wee pass from James Tavernier. Just at that point in time he looks up, he's probably got the one option, maybe Asgard is a pullback, but Chermiti trying to get across the face and the cross wasn't good enough, straight into the hands of Svilar.
Sports Sound here on BBC Radio Scotland, and 2 Rangers changes coming up. Diamonde and Danilo will be on shortly as we tick towards the hour mark here. Rangers still 2 goals behind as Roma come forward down the right. Might be a foul by Aarons. No, play on, says the referee. Roma will be incensed if anything comes of this. Aarons driving forward, slips it through to Chermiti. Left hand side of the box, shoots into the side net. Oh dear, if you're a £9 million player, you've got to hit the target at the very least there. And it stays Rangers 0, Roma 2. Danilo will replace Gassama, and Diamonde is going to come on as well for Raskan. What a chance for Chermiti.
Yeah, I mean, Aarons does ever so well. He's at a tough angle, but you've still got to get that on target. He's travelling and he takes such a big last step that when he goes to hit it, he's off balance. He's got his short in his stride pattern, so when he reaches the ball, he's able to get a shot away with a lot more control. He's reaching for it and puts it into the side net and back across the keeper is what you're looking for there.
Yeah, and he scores there, then it's game on again, but still Rangers 2 behind, and we are now beyond the hour mark. Gassama coming off, doesn't look best pleased to be doing so.
He does not, no.
On comes Danilo, managed a couple of goals recently, including the winner against Hibs 8 nights ago at Easter Road. It's an away day for Rangers again on Sunday when they go to Dens Park to face Dundee. It was a busy weekend across the 2 days, the Premiership in particular busy on Sunday. These rearranged matches, Saturday Falkirk Livingston, and then the later kick-off St Mirren Hibs, which will be getting the limelight Saturday evening. Then on Sunday, Aberdeen Motherwell, Dundee Rangers are mentioned, the leaders Hearts host Dundee United, and it's Celtic against Kilmarnock in this very city. Chermiti wide in the left for Rangers, attacking the byline, chops back in field, plays it across, and the goalkeeper holds on. Svilar at his near post. It's good positive play from Chermiti. I mentioned earlier he's actually not had the worst game tonight. He's had that big opportunity, of course, and he had chances, a couple of them against Celtic on Sunday.
Yeah, didn't have.
But he's got in a good position. But
yeah, he has. I mean, again, his movement was decent, offering the ball in behind out on the left-hand side, gets towards the byline. Instead of trying to cross the ball, he chops in on his right foot. Never really on for the shot, though. You're never beating the goalkeeper from that angle. Probably should have crossed it, but it's an attempt on target.
The Rangers giving it away on the far side. They've narrowed most of the statistics in the game since the break as Roma come down the right, and Zeki Celik's won the corner off Giga. The possession's 54-46 in Roma's favour. That was up to about 71 at one point. The passes completed has been narrowed as well. 373 for Roma, 294 total passes. And there was a bigger gap between those, or that statistic as well, earlier on, but it's to no avail for Rangers so far, and 2-0 down, and Roma have a corner over on the right hand side, which Pellegrini's going to take, an outswinger right-footed, in it comes, flicked in by Aarons towards his own penalty spot, but Hermoso can't get anything onto it. Rangers come away with Danilo on the far side, who goes down, and out of play off him last for a throw-in to Roma.
It was another dangerous corner. Rangers just about deal with it. Looks as though Danilo was going to get away, and then a really good tackle that came off Danilo last, so possession back to Roma from the throw-in.
Talking about the Premiership, the Championship gets the SPFL weekend underway tomorrow night. Airdrie Onions Partick Thistle on the BBC Scotland channel. And Thistle, who are looking to put pressure on St Johnstone, it's going to take some amount of goals tomorrow to go top tomorrow, but do draw level on points against the bottom dogs, Airdrie. That's live on the BBC Scotland TV channel with a 7:30 start, 7:45 kick-off. Roma have it here in the Europa League, match day 4. Rangers 2-0 down, won back by Diamondes, fouled by Pellegrini, and Rangers have a free kick midway inside their own half. Roma have Cristante on the deck. I'm not sure what's happened to him, but there's going to be a couple of changes coming up for the visitors. Manu Kone is going to come on, as is Steven El Shaarawy. And Kone, who's found himself an important part of the France midfield these days. Another classy player, played at the Paris Olympics last summer and won a silver medal. He came in from Borussia Mönchengladbach last year, initially on loan, so 24 years of age. He's going to come on at Ibrox. And the other change, as I said, El Shaarawy, who is 33 nowadays. He's an Italy international, 32 caps. Played at the European Championship finals in 2016 and 2024. Not at 2020 when Italy got their hands on the trophy, beating England on penalties in the final. But those are the two players coming on for Roma. It might well be Cristante's limping, might be one of them to come off anyway. And Soulé got the first, who has kind of quietened down in the game. He was good in the first half, wasn't he? So Soulé is coming off, and the other change will see Pellegrini replaced. The two goal scorers making way, Manu Kone and El Shaarawy, will come on. It is 2-0 to Roma, 65.5 on the clock.
Yeah, you get the feeling Rangers need to do something quickly if they're going to get back into this game. Again, he's changed formation. He's gone to more like a 4-4-1-1 now. Danilo on the pitch, and obviously get two wingers in wide areas, or two players capable of playing as wingers in wide areas now, with Asgard on the left and young Mikey Moore here on the right.
Tavernier, long ball, looking for Danilo. Can he get a good touch? Not really. Hermoso nicks it off him as Kone puts it out for a throw into Rangers midway inside the Roma half, taken quickly by Tavernier to Barron. Barron down the right side. We're knocking on the final quarter of this game. It's passed back to Diamonde, back into his own half for Giga. Giga then rolls it out to the left for Aarons. Back to Giga, who squares it to Suter. Now with Tavernier on the right, looking to chip it forward to Chermiti. It's cleared. Nice. Tavernier forward, it comes to Asgard. Lovely flick for Danilo, left by Chermiti. It's Moore, right hand side of the Roma box, low ball. Asgard gets in his right side, shoots wide. No, we're right behind that. It's good build up play by Rangers, and Telo Asgard, who's got a bit of making up to do to the Rangers supporters and indeed to his manager and teammates. Fires it wide across the bows of the goalkeeper and past the left hand post as he looked for the bottom left. 67 on the clock. Rangers 0, Roma 2.
Should be hitting the target. I mean, he starts the move with a lovely wee flick through to Danilo. The ball comes out wide. When it comes back to Asgard at the edge of the box, he's got a clear sight of goal. He just drags it, and you could see from where we were right behind it, it was always going to just peel away from Svilar's right hand post. But better football from Rangers. Still, it's not an effort to target that, but
yeah, I mean, this is the problem for them is, and the supporters here, is that this is all amid the backdrop of a 2-goal deficit.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say that Roma haven't been quite as adventurous in this second half in terms of their attacking play. They've not looked as dangerous, but they don't need to be. I think that's the point. Away from home,
classic Italian pragmatism,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, and they're just looking to manage the game, whereas Rangers really need to get back in it.
Roma are going to make another change in a moment. Mentioned early on in proceedings the injuries that have kept out Dybala, Ferguson and Angelino, the fullback who scored against Rangers in the semi-finals for Leipzig 2022. He's out injured, so too Leon Bailey, who's on loan from Aston Villa. Came up against Rangers in 2020 playing for Leverkusen, so they have been shorn of several players who would have, in all likelihood, been involved tonight. Wesley, the Brazilian, one of their new big money signings, is going to come on, but here they come down the right. Roma cross ball into the Rangers box, aiming for Sharawi. Tsimikas across and bundled over the line. Surely that went over.
I didn't.
It bounces back into Butland's
miss.
gloves. How on earth has that stayed out?
It's an astonishing miss, Liam. I have literally no idea how that is not
Zeki Celik has thrown himself at it. It's bounced up off the underside of the bar and back down, and somehow it still doesn't go in when he tries to get in on the follow-up, and he's ended up in the hoardings in the net behind the line.
He was a centimetre out and he manages to hit the underside of the bar. Remarkable.
It's turned back by Andy Katu's goalkeeper, Svilar, with a long ball forward, but they're going to have to stop the play because Zeki Celik's down, apparently injured after missing that sitter, which would have put Rangers to bed. They are approaching the final 20 minutes. Stephen's getting a replay. Rangers trailing 2-0.
Yeah, in swinging cross. They've put a freeze on it. I mean, it's a really sclaffed effort. I mean, he's a yard
his
out.
Knee, hasn't it?
It's his knee, but like any contact at all, and it's a goal. Yeah, I mean, he's a yard out. He puts it off his knee, off the underside of the bar. A remarkable miss. I don't know whether the initial ball in Tsimikas would have been offside. We'll never know, I suppose. But I mean, you've seen sitters. That's a bit as.
Well, I just assumed that was in.
Well, you did. I heard you.
Yes.
Yeah. But it isn't.
He's gone with his head. It's come off his knee and up off the underside of the bar, and Rangers have got away with one. The Turkey international Celik. I don't know if you heard that in the background there. I think the town crier, he doesn't normally shout the attendance, but just over 41,000 inside Ibrox. The Roma fans haven't taken up their full allocation over on the far side. I think there's about 1,500 of them here as they come forward, driving down this left-hand side for Tsimikas. Gets it across, but it's a comfortable take for Butland this time. Rangers 0, Roma 2. We're in the final 20.
This is the problem that Rangers have got as they go in search of trying to get back into this game, putting more and more bodies forward. They're going to leave themselves open.
Devin Wrench, the Dutch international, is going to come on. Long ball forward. Moore goes after it, but Svilar was alive to the situation and grabs it. Bojan Miovski's down there for Rangers. They try and somehow turn the tide as the seconds dwindle away from them. It's Cristante out to that right hand side for Mancini, back to Ndika, who then play it to the other side of his box, and this near side for Hermoso. The line for Tsimikas, then Hermoso goes back to Svilar. Cristante picks up midway inside his own half, forward to Dovbyk, who in fairness Rangers have kept quite quiet tonight. He's given it away. Danilo forward to Moore, wide left Chermiti back down the line for Asgard, level with the Roma 18-yard line. Looks for space to cross, gets it in, but it's beaten everyone and sails behind for the goal kick. And it will stay Rangers 0, Roma 2. And more changes here. And the first for
Celik, I think, is coming off.
Is it Celik who's going to be replaced here? He was injured just a moment ago after missing that chance. And the other change, see Tsimikas come off. So Wesley has been keeping Tsimikas out of the team, really. The Brazilian is going to come on. So 3 caps for Brazil. He arrived in the summer from Flamengo, again 20-25 million quid. He made his debut for his national team against Colombia in the World Cup qualifiers in March. And he'll come on, and so too Devin Mench. So Tsimikas off and Zeki Celik off. And Miovski has come on for Rangers as they try and, as I say, find a route back into this. He's replaced
Chermiti
is Chermiti,
yeah.
So Danilo and Miovski basically leading the line for Rangers, supported by Asgard. Roma make a hash of the clearance. Diamonde forward to Miovski, chest for Danilo, pokes it back to Moore, to his right for Tavernier. Now with Diamonde, back out wide right of the box. Tavernier fires it across, a brilliant ball, and nobody can put it home. Miovski at the back post with a thumbs up, and To be fair, a bigger compliment for Tavernier's cross would have been sticking that home at the back post. He just couldn't quite get enough on it.
He's inches away, isn't he? I mean, the quality of ball from Tavernier's outstanding, especially the angle he was at to try and whip it into the area that he does. He puts it right across the face of goal, and at full stretch, Majowski threw himself at the ball. Comes off his stud. I mean, he couldn't have done any more to try and get something on it.
Begging to be touched into the net though, wasn't it? Roma have it on the right hand side. It's Elianui out onto the touchline. Cristante gets it back from Mancini, and it's out for a Rangers throw-in, rather Roma throw-in. Diamondi was the ball in his hands for a second there. It's given back to the visitors though, and then back to Endika. And then switch it to his left for Hermoso, and then out to Wesley on this near side. Outside of the boot, flicks it forward to the right, and now it's Kone. Wesley's continued his run, but the pass from the Frenchman's cut out by Danilo, and out for a throw-in on this near side. I wonder if Rangers can create another couple of chances that can see them salvage a point out of this between now and full time. They've only got just over 15 minutes of the 90 left.
Yeah, time's running out, but you know, as I said, I think if you get one goal, even if it's 85 minutes, it just gives everybody that hope. They've got to keep pushing for it.
El Shaarawy on the far side's now back with Cristante. Wrench is out there too. Ball's chipped in field. It's Moore trying to win it back. Manu Kone gets there though. Plays it back into the centre circle for Hermoso, and out to the left for Wesley. Level with the edge of the D of the Rangers box. Now level with the penalty spot, Dovbyk. Back to Kone. Attacking the Rangers box, finds Dovbyk. Tries to lay it back to Wesley. Taking on Tavernier, bends across in towards the back post with the left foot. Swept away from Jack Butland. Comes to the far side, still alive for Roma here. The ball in, takes a deflection. Cristante's effort is blocked. Brief appeal for a handball. Rangers come away with it with Moore on this near side. Rolls it back to the edge of his box for Tavernier, who launches it forward looking for Majowski. Comes off the head of Hermoso. Back to Endika. And as we move towards 76 minutes, it is still Rangers 0, Roma 2, as it has been since the 36th minute when Pellegrini rolled home Roma second.
Yeah, and they're enjoying a good spell of possession at the minute. Roma managing the game really well. Rangers are trying their best to try and get up the pitch, but it's difficult when Roma are just keeping the ball from them.
Yeah, since the changes, it's actually been a real period of calm, hasn't it, for Roma?
Yeah, it has.
The exception of that one ball in from Tavernier. Endika has it, right of the centre circle. Over on the far side. Picked up by El Shaarawy, up against Aarons.
Mind you, when you look at the quality of player that they've brought on, you know, they're not kind of making their team any weaker, that's for sure.
Right hand side, El Shaarawy back to Dovbyk at the edge of the Rangers box, just inside it, looking for space to shoot, which he does, and Butland makes the save. There's a flag anyway. This is Rangers 0, Roma 2.
Yeah, another one of those where the linesman waits forever. I mean, he's a good couple of yards off, El Shaarawy, and then eventually gets the cut back in. Dovbyk gets a wee half swivel at the edge of the box. The shot was straight down Jack Butland's throat, easy for him to pick up, but it wouldn't have counted anyway.
Rangers are 13 minutes away from 4 defeats out of 4 in the Europa League. Home match against Braga is up next. Then they go to Budapest to play Ferencváros. At home to Ludogorets, and then away to Porto. The two final matches in January. They're going to have to chisel 12 points out of that. And as Rangers come through, it's Danilo gets the touch onto it. The goalkeeper comes and claims well with Asgard on the follow-up.
He's unlucky there, Danilo. He made a lovely wee dart and run at an angle to the goal. Pass comes through to him and he gets the shot away, and it kind of spins up. It's a lovely ball from Mikey Moore, spins up off the goalie, and the goalie comes out and collects. I don't know whether he could have lifted it or not, because it literally no time and the goalie was on him.
You probably look at the game here tonight, and it's at home, so they probably would have, in normal circumstances for Rangers, and I'm using the last 5-6 years in Europe as the kind of barometer of that. They would have fancied taking something from this game, but you could probably look at Roma and Porto and think those two games, you might not win those ones.
Yeah,
they've got a chance of getting something out the other 6, and of course they've lost the first 3.
Yeah, when the group comes out, you look at it and you think to yourself, right, fancy ourselves against Sturmgras, fancy ourselves against Braga, not Brann maybe, Genk, probably, yeah.
At home to Braga though, as they've beaten them here before, of course. So here comes Wesley for Roma down the left hand side, and then the outside of the boot. Cross is poor, looking for El Shaarawy, and Butland claims 78.
But you're right.
Roma.
You look at the Roma one and the Porto one, you go, right, those are tough, but we'll pick up points in the other games.
I don't think it's the worst fixture list in the Europa League this season. Put it that way.
It's not. Well, it's proven to be. It's proven to be pretty bad. But yeah, I mean, you'd be expecting Rangers to have certainly more than 0 points after 4 games. That's for sure.
Celtic in a slightly better. Well, they are in a better position. They've got 4 points. Rangers have nothing, but they're faced with games like away to Feyenoord and away to Bologna, and that is Roma come forward down the left, and Ndika doing a bit of attacking here, slides in, but he's fouled Giga, so that's a free kick to Rangers. Deep inside their own half though.
There's another sloppy one that Rangers again get away with. I didn't think it was a foul myself, but Rangers get it. You get the ball forward, approaching the last 10 minutes of normal time.
I think Rangers' priority between now and the end of the season is trying to pick up as many league points as they can and shake some life into their Premiership season. Still the Scottish Cup to play for as well, as Roma come forward. Chip ball to Cristante, can't control, and Giga gets onto it, finds Tavernier, he finds Barron. Tries to slalom away from Brian Cristante as he rolls it back to Giga, forward to Diamonde and back to Suter. The edge of his box, forward to Asgard, first time into the chest of Miovski's done well now. Danilo, first time ball down the right hand side for Moore. The final 10 upon us here. Rangers 0, Roma 2. Moore shows way too much of it to Wesley, and what an absolute waste that was, as Rangers prepare to bring on Finlay Curtis.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good football initially from Rangers, and the ball round the corner. Miovski does really well to link it. It gets fired out to Moore. Rangers have got 3 of their players then bearing down on goal, trying to make the box, and Moore's got to get a delivery in. He tries to kind of beat his man. He's probably thinking of getting a shot off himself. He gets a ball taken off him. That'll be his last act tonight.
In comes Curtis. The final 10 plus stoppages. Ndika just pushing it forward into the midfield for Cristante, who fires it out to that right hand side for Mancini. It's back to Ndika at the edge of his box. Out to Wesley, wide on the left, just inside his own half. Feeds it infield to Dovbyk. Back to Manu Kone. 3 Rangers shirts around him, he gets away from all of them, but Suter comes and helps and wins it back. Now finds Diamonde, and now it's Barron. Barron knocking it forward, looking for Danilo. It's a telegraphed ball, and Roma win it back through Mancini. He's got it forward here to El Shaarawy. He's at the edge of the box. Option to his right, that's where it goes, but it's in behind El Ayanui, and it's passed back down the line over to Cristante. It's passed forward, cut out by Ahrens, and then Asgard sweeps it clear up onto the halfway line. Rangers 0, Roma 2. Earlier, Michelin 3, Celtic 1 in the Europa League, and in the Conference League, a resolute performance from Aberdeen in a match they could have actually gone on and won in the end against AEK Larnaca in the Conference League. It has lifted Aberdeen off the bottom of that tournament's league phase. And they've still got work to do if they're going to have interest in that tournament into the spring. May well need to win all 3 of their final matches, and they've got Strasbourg and Sparta Prague to come, so
no easy that.
No, they do have a home game against Noah in their next one though, so can keep it going and burning. But the money Strasbourg are paying, it's basically the Chelsea B team just now, challenging PSG for the French title.
That's a step up, that.
Yeah. They have got them at home, so you can see anyway here. It is Roma 2-0 up and driving forward down that far side. Elianui can't get onto it, goes behind for the goal kick. Rangers will try and get the ball forward as quickly as they can here.
They've had flashes in the second half. Rangers without creating a massive chance, and you've never once been convinced, watching them here tonight, that they're capable of getting themselves back into this match, or at least putting Roma under enough pressure. They just haven't managed to muster it up.
Roma have kind of managed the second half, haven't they?
Yeah, brilliantly. As you'd expect them to do with the quality of player they've got and experience that they've got on the pitch.
Be 2 wins and 2 defeats come the end of this, assuming Roma hold out. El Shaarawy comes out to the far side. They have been a little bit disappointing in their Europa League campaign so far. So Wesley turns it in field here to Manu Kone, goes back to Hermoso. And back it comes to Mancini, who switches it to Ndika, and then he fires it forward to the edge of the Rangers box for El Shaarawy, who finds Dompic on his left, onto his right, then back to the edge of the area for Kone, whose effort's blocked by Tavernier. Bounces around the left angle of the box here, Wesley. Now Manu Kone up against Tavernier. It's level of the 6-yard line. Kone slips as it breaks out to Wesley, gets his cross in, headed away by Suter. And nodded back by Ndika there for Hermoso.
Don't know why Kone didn't just keep going there. He was past Tavernier, he should have just flashed it on his left. He tries to chop back onto his right and then slips, and the chance is half gone. He was in a really good area.
Final change coming up for Roma. Nicolo Pisili is going to come on. He's a midfielder. As Curtis goes in on the challenge there on Mancini, but it bounces back to Ndika, who goes back to his goalkeeper. Empty blue seats beginning to appear in the home sections.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like there's a route back into this for Rangers, and may well be there is no route for them in the Europa League this season. It's been bitterly disappointing for them as they initially tried to get into the Champions League. Those excellent showings here against Panathinaikos and Victoria Pilsen back in July and August feel like a long time ago now, as Pisili comes on for Dovbyk. As I said, it's been relatively quiet tonight, the big Ukrainian, and I guess they've defended well against him, but it's 2 kind of slack moments from Rangers that have cost them the 2 goals tonight.
That's the level, Liam. That's the level. You can, if you've not got a defensive foundation that's going to keep you in a match at this level, you're just going to get punished, and it's happened to Rangers. The damage was done in the first half, and they've not found enough quality to try and get themselves back into the game.
Pisili on, and he's going to play right through the middle. El Shaarawy will be up there as well. It's an academy graduate. Pisili's waiting in the middle as it's pulled back to Alayanui. The pass back down the right hand side. Eventually he's played into a central position for Manu Kone, who gets onto it from Mancini. Kone again out to Wesley, low ball. He's worked it back to Kone. Roma are stepping things up here. Kone to the byline, tries to pull it back with the outside of the boot, and it's scrambled to safety by Tavernier. He's helped to his feet by his teammate Barron as he went down under the challenge there and wins the free kick. 86.5 on the clock. Rangers 0, Roma 2.
Really similar situation to when Kone was in just a few moments ago. This time it was Barron. Barron slips, and again he doesn't take full advantage of it. Kone.
Just across the board, there's just not enough quality for Rangers at this level right now.
I mean, the work rate's been there, Liam, but the defensive frailties are there for everyone to see. They've been there all season, and then middle to front, just not asking enough questions.
Well, Roma have got designs on lifting a first Scudetto in a quarter of a century this season. 3 times Serie A champions, not since 2001. And that's their only title since 1983, and a couple of Coppa Italia since then. Of course, the Conference League in 2022 was much celebrated. Barron finds Diamande, and out to the left there for Aarons, who steps away from his man, looks for an option in blue and white, has to go back to Suter. Appealing to the Danish referee for a free kick there. Aarons not getting one. Giga out to Asgard, and then back to Giga. It's the Roma supporters you hear in the background who are celebrating. There was talk that there wouldn't be any Roma fans allowed inside Ibrox because of issues at their match in France against Nice. Well, they are here in decent numbers tonight, albeit not filling that full section that they're entitled to over on the far side. As Suter plays it forward to Asgard on the turn, goes down under the challenge of Wrench and wins the free kick in the centre circle. There's 90 seconds of the 90 minutes left. 2-0 Roma as Tavernier plays it down the right for Curtis. Curtis skips in field wide, trying to come back, I'm not sure, but it breaks to Danilo, who fires it wide.
He did the first bit well, didn't he, Liam? You know, it was a good movement from him down the right hand side. He chops once, and then you see wingers doing it so many times. And when they go and try and chop again and get the ball taken off them, you've done the hard bit, you've got your half yard, deliver.
You see it all the time now with wingers.
Well, I played with a player at Burnley called Robbie Blake. Oh my word.
See, notorious
you're
for
waiting
that,
in the middle for a cross, and you may as well just get a book out. I mean, he was chopping away like a karate expert.
Roma have a goal kick, which is booted forward there by Svilar. A header from Asgard down the left hand side, nobody in Rangers colours there, and then Dika turns it back to Svilar. There's been so many vibrant, exciting European nights under the lights here at Ibrox. This has not been one of them for the Rangers supporters. Another flat atmosphere at the end of a European night for them. They don't want to get too used to that. As Wesley wins the free kick for a trip by Curtis on this near side. Danny Rule down there, nothing he can do. And nothing he can do when it comes to the squad as we go into the first of 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the match. Nothing he can do about the squad for another couple of months.
No. And then, you know, it's difficult because they've already got a reasonably big squad and a lot of new players. They're not going to be wanting to be getting moved on so early in their careers.
Talk in the papers today that Sharmiti's going out on loan in January. Just spent £9 million on a player to then put him out on loan a few months later is remarkable if that was to happen.
I don't think that would look too...
What an admission that would be.
I think that would look too well for those who brought him to the club, put it that way. But yeah, I mean, how much wiggle room there's going to be able to add to the squad in January, we need to wait and see how much money's there. But as I said, you know, if you're signed yourself a 3-year deal, i.e. like an Ant-Man or something, you're not about to go, right, I'll just go away without any of the money that you're due for that deal. Difficult to get rid of players when they're under contract and you're not fancying them.
Well, out of the League Cup, miles away in the Premiership, and effectively out the Europa League. They're going to have to win their final 4 matches, and you just cannot see them do that.
No, you can't.
So that leaves the Scottish Cup. And what can they do? We're only a quarter of the way through the league season. Miovski gives it away. It's a dreadful mistake. El Shaarawy, left hand side of the box, skips onto his right, plays it across, and it comes bouncing off Barron and behind for a Roma corner. Woeful from Miovski. Yeah,
really, really poor. It was a straight past him from John Suter, and he's got to either take a touch or make sure when you link it that it's, you know, accurate. It wasn't. El Shaarawy picks it up, skips inside, gets a shot away. Conor Barron goes to block it. Very fortunately for him, it goes a metre past the post.
Clock ticking down. We've got 1 minute of the 3 left to play. Rangers just about to be put out of their misery in Europe again. As the corner comes in, there, whipped in by Elayanui, and it comes off a couple of heads and then spins out for a throw into Roma over on the right hand side as Wrench whips up the visiting supporters under the big screen over on the far side. The Rangers have been better in the second half, but it's felt like a procession.
Yeah, and you know, Danny Rule changed the shape at half time to the 4, and then he's made another tactical change halfway through the half. You know, he's tried everything he can at his disposal. It's just not been good enough for Rangers. Yes, a slight improvement. How much of that is Roma seen things out and managing the game, I don't know. Roma have certainly looked very comfortable, and as I said earlier, we're never convinced there was a pathway into this game, back into this game for Rangers.
Wesley, as he rolls it back into his own half for Ndika, but that's it, it's all over. A flat atmosphere at the end from the home supporters. It's 4 defeats out of 4 for Rangers in this Europa League campaign, which is now at the halfway stage. Roma adding their name to the list of teams that have beaten Rangers in this competition this season, along with Genk, Sturm Graz and Brann. The damage was done in the first half. Sully on 13, Pellegrini on 36. 2 avoidable goals leave Rangers rooted once again at the bottom of the Europa League. Just they and the French side Nice are pointless at this point of the competition after tonight's matches. And it's the first time in Rangers history that they have lost 7 successive European games. A new low for the club in Europe, and another bitterly disappointing evening for them, not just them, but for the Scottish coefficient, which has taken another couple of uppercuts tonight, thanks to defeats for the 2 clubs that have done more than most to raise the profile, raise the coefficient over the years. Celtic losing in Denmark against Midtjylland in this tournament earlier on. Aberdeen with a 0-0 draw in the Conference League in Cyprus against AEK Larnaca. The brief flicker of light this evening, but Rangers have followed all that up with yet another loss. They were beaten by Serie A title challengers Roma. It finished here at Ibrox under the lights. Rangers 0, AS Roma 2.